Hey guys, welcome back to my podcast. So this podcast is an extension of my previous podcast with Aswini, this great guy, which I talked in the last podcast. In the last podcast, we talked about importance of networking and having a growth mindset. In this podcast, we will be touching upon, or rather, we will be having a deep dive of strategies which every college grad should adopt to outshine their peers when they enter the workforce, or maybe if they want to build something of their own. So, Ashwini, why don't you start with your introduction?
Surely, surely. Welcome back, guys. And I hope the people who haven't watched the podcast, the first podcast, I would suggest them to watch it again. Watch it if they haven't watched. But for the new audience, I'm Ashwini. I'm pursuing my graduation at Mumbai. I'm also a freelance marketer and an entrepreneur. I have been working on multiple startups around the marketing, business development, and content creation space, and I also help startups in the growth phase. So that's it all about me. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship, networking, events. So this is something I'm passionate about. So moving to the question which Atish has asked, I guess that's a very important question for all the people, for especially for the freshers who are just entering into the college phase. They are lost in this space, and they would be wondering around, "Okay, what shall we do? What shall I do to make the most use of my college time?" I guess a lot of students who have traveled from a tier 3 or tier 2 cities, like I have traveled from a tier 3 city to a tier 1 city like Mumbai. Okay. For me, it was like the glamour of the Mumbai. I was lost in that. I was lost, like, because everything is like a dream city. You're being part of a dream city. And for me, it took some time for, as I was like bit of homesick as well. So this happens with everyone. I can say the best of students also, if you are not being into the atmosphere of a hostel life, and you are residing in a residential college, so this is fine. So quickly diving into the strategies, like how it can make you, like what can be a personal growth, and how can you impact in your personal growth being in a college. The first thing I realized is at least start breaking conversations with your fellow classmates. Okay, if that doesn't mean you only limit yourself with a particular group. Okay, let's break yourself out from these groups. Okay, you can hang out with a particular set of friends, but you should be friendly with everyone. Okay, you can have, so I believe in these two terms: friends and friendly. Be friendly with everyone, have your friends. Okay, so be friendly with everyone, like start conversations. You can have some small talks around. You shouldn't be uncomfortable, uncomfortable when you are with a different set of people, because even though they can be your potential help, they can be a potential help for you in any point of life. Okay, so start networking with people. Networking doesn't only means friends. Okay, you don't have to make friends. You don't have to build up a relationship of friendship with everyone, but start networking with everyone. Okay, have them have a warm conversation with them and include them in your network. The more wider network you have now, that really helps you. Okay, it's good to be popular in college. It's good to be popular in college. I'm not saying in a bad way, but it's good to be popular in college, because popularity comes with its own benefits. But I have seen, okay, like like I am being the president of the student council in my university. I have my own perks. Okay, I have seen my own perks in terms of getting a visibility, getting a credibility in my resume, getting a credibility of exposure of the network which my college fosters on, and the events I get access to. Okay, so this all credibility when you can when you are popular in the college, and also you have a good network of students part of you. This also helps you learn different diversity skills. Okay, like you get to learn about their particular states, but you get to learn about their particular background. Okay, and in the last podcast also I mentioned, so learning from people. Okay, learning from people, interacting with them, that's the great form of learning. The learning, you shouldn't limit your learning only with your books or videos or something, but interacting with people also exchanges a lot of thoughts and knowledge around it. So this is the first strategy I would suggest. Second strategy, which I found was really helpful, if you are in a residential college, start working with faculty. If you're not in a residential college, that's also fine. But outside the classroom hours, interact with the faculty. Okay. And how I started this, you can work with your faculty with some of the other reason. It could be a case. You can, if you are a business student, you can work on a case, and you can request your faculty, like faculty, sir or ma'am, I'm interested in working on this case. Let's work together, because they have got an idea, they have got an overview, and every faculty and every full-time faculty or an adjunct faculty in a university or a college, they are required to produce this much of cases and research papers. Okay, so working with the faculty is a very advantage, and like surely betting on if you produce a research paper during your 3 years of graduation, that's a very incredible job, and I'm damn sure you'll be fetching a good hike in salary, or a starting salary would be quite lucrative if you produce a research paper or you write a case. Okay, so start working with the faculty. For engineering students also, they can work on a project. They can work on some technical project, they can work on a dilemma, they can work on a technical problem, and they can try to break it out with working with the faculty. So start working with the faculty. This is the second strategy I would suggest on. The third thing I would suggest on, being an active member in one of the clubs. Okay, it's really essential. Okay, being a part of a club gives you an overview of how the things happen. It's also a channel of connecting you with the industry experts and the industry leaders, because like a lot of clubs have their activities. This also helps you how you should work in a team setting. Okay, because in a corporate, you are not going to be a lone wolf. Okay, you have to work in teams. Okay, so how you should present yourself in a group context, in a team setting. So this helps you. And if you are leading a club, that's a very fab job. Okay, so start being part of a club or a student committee or being in the student council or something. Okay, because this gives you great learning. Okay, if you are in some event and organizing an event, so like I would suggest I just take a pause. I've been writing a lot of content around college students, youth, and how you should use your college life in my LinkedIn. So you can just follow my LinkedIn profile so that you will get an idea of how events, okay, how events can help you around. Because just for an example, if you are a fresher and you are applying for an internship and you think my resume looks quite minimalistic and it looks quite empty or clean. So being a part of a club now, you can just mention you were an active member in this so and so club, and you had contributed in this all events, or you have just for an example, you have hosted an event. You have hosted an event in a college. You can just put that as an experience, because that's a good experience to talk about. Like hosting up a mass of like 100 students in for this particular competition, or hosting a mass of 500 students for this fest. That's a great thing to push in your resume. Okay, so this sort of experiences you can put in resume. That's one thing I want to discuss on. And the next other things which would be like subsidiary would be, so these are the three strategies I would suggest ki this will surely make you an outlier than amongst other students. The first thing, or the other things which I think were really important outside of your formal education. The formal education means the classes which the college or the university offers to you. Focus some time or devote some time in self-learning. Okay, by self-learning, I mean, as I mentioned, you are learning when you are interacting with other people. You could take up an additional course from any of the MOOC platform or any of the edtech platform, or you would be spending some time in reading a blog or listening to a podcast. Okay, like how we are recording in podcast. So that's a medium of channel or exchange of information or gathering some thoughts around it. So start like spend some time on devote some time on self-learning. So there are several mediums. YouTube being a free resource for everyone, so that would be a good thing to learn a new skill. Okay, so just this is the number of skills you add on to your portfolio, the number of times you just multiply the like starting salary, or you just increase your value in terms of words, in terms of money. Okay, it doesn't matter you want to do a job or an entrepreneurship, you want to take up a career in entrepreneurship or anything as a consultant or freelance, but skills are really important. That's like that you can exchange in currency. Skills are currency. Okay, so that we can exchange with currency. And also, like as I mentioned, being very proactive in participating in the events happening across other colleges. Okay, like a lot of colleges have their own fest. Okay, even you should be, as I mentioned, you should be also part of your own college fest team. But you should also look out opportunities happening across other colleges. Like what I've seen in the consortium, like DU or Mumbai University, they have very inter-college events. So be part of this inter-college events. Let it be a hackathon or a B plan competition, because there you also grow your network beyond your college. Okay, so the exposure you get, that's very helpful for you in the later run. Okay, that also makes you quite smart, and also that like increases your confidence as well. If you are someone who is less confident, you will feel quite confident after this being part of these competitions. And if you are good enough, you can also win a contest, so that in additional brings you lots of recognition and laurels to your own college as well. So these are some of the strategies I would suggest everyone that would be very helpful for them if they started in their initial years, and they can take it on.
So I have a question here. I know you are a traveler, you travel a lot, and I remember you are also traveling tomorrow for an event. So the question here is how traveling is, help you advance your brain or advance your thought process. When you meet new people, has it impacted your thought process in any way or made you creative in any way? So what are your thoughts about it?
Great. So traveling, like as I mentioned, traveling is something very fun for me. It's very fun and adventurous for me, and it's like a hobby. So one thing I mentioned, ki traveling gives me the opportunity to explore. I just say it gives me the opportunity to explore places, people, culture. Okay, so these are the three things I explore when I want to travel. And also, like, I travel a lot around for events. Okay, like as I mentioned, I take part in a lot of events happening across colleges, across campuses, across corporates, and being in the work profile also, I travel around. So the creativity angle, if I talk about, yeah, it gives me a relaxation. Okay, the relaxation in return gives me the space to think more, think out of the box. Okay, so when we are exhausted with the whole week of, like, we are in a, what I can say, we are in a routine or monotonous setup. Okay, so this travel is like the it gives you the relaxation, and it takes you away from that particular moment, so that it gives you the time and it gives you the chance to think out of the box. Okay, and that out of the box sometimes leads to great ideas. I can say sometimes it leads to great ideas that in return helps me a lot in my later job. And also, I have practically seen, if I am on a travel, after that my productivity increases to 3. That's what
Yeah,
I
I
have observed.
totally agree with you. Another question I have is, which there's one of the point you mentioned in your points, which everyone should adopt to, outshine or be outlier. That is, having a research paper or collaborating with someone or faculty member with for a research paper. So can you please outline maybe a 3-step plan or a 5-step plan, how someone can achieve it? How someone could pick a topic for a research paper, reach out to the faculty member, or how even to do the research itself, and what is the significance of it in the broader terms?
Cool. So if we talk about this, so okay, taking an example of a case, okay, because right now I'm working on a research paper. Okay, so if I talk about case, because I have written a caselet with one of my faculty, so I have written a caselet with my dean of the university. Okay, so how I approached it. So, like, my dean was quite friendly with me, and we were discussing on a particular topic about passion and ideals of passion. Thereafter, he suggested ki you should watch this movie. So he suggested me ki, yeah, I have watched Three Idiots like a lot of times, but he decided, we mutually decided ki let's put Three Idiots into a caselet. Okay, so the first step would be interacting with faculty. Okay, if they don't have a suggestion, you can put on a suggestion. Ki you should show your curiosity. Like what happens in a lot of colleges and universities also, and that's truth. Students don't interact with their faculty beyond classroom hours. They are always in the verge. How the period ends or how the session ends, I should be out of this place. I have my friends to chill out, all this thing. Okay, so you should start interacting outside beyond classroom hours. Okay, initially you should start interacting. Okay, break some good conversations, break some good conversations with them. Maybe you should talk some, like, if you had discussed something, a good topic around your thing. As I always say, curiosity invents new things. For me, like, curiosity is the getaway, and it's like the go through for getting new things, achieving new things. Okay, so once you start a conversation with the faculty, then there will be new ideas, like how you can collaborate. You should show your potential, you should show your curiosity or your interest of collaboration, or you can on your own also propose a faculty if they are comfortable. You can just start proposing also. It's not a big deal. Like if you have like 10 faculty and 10 associate faculty, start pitching to everyone, whomever you feel like they can be a good collaboration with me to write a research paper. Okay, because I believe like when I approached my faculty for a research paper, he didn't say yes to my in the first place. He was like, "You're an undergrad. Do you think you would be giving ample amount?" I showed my confidence. I showed my confidence. Sir, maybe you are right. Maybe you're right. I wouldn't be the a guy who would be giving the ample time, but I certainly deserve one chance. I certainly deserve one chance. Okay. Maybe you can give me a part of it. Maybe you give me a part of the research and you can check my caliber. Okay. I just wanted to test myself. Okay. I proposed him to test myself. And he tested myself. He gave me a work to do. He gave me like 3 research papers to read out and take out the like devices somewhere around and find out problems. And I did in the dedicated deadline. And he was very happy with my work. Then we think of how we can collaborate, right? So right now I'm working on a faculty for that, and I've also worked with the faculty for writing a book, co-authoring a book. So the initiation, I think the first and important most step would be initiation. The second thing would be showing a curiosity and interest. Initiation is the first thing. A lot of people don't initiate. That's the first thing I should suggest. Initiation.
Yes.
Second step would be showing your interest and curiosity. Third thing would be breaking conversation with the faculty, spending some time with them beyond classroom hours, because classroom, like out of classroom hours, there is a whole much bigger life. So spending some time with them. Fourth thing would be brainstorming around how we can collaborate. Okay, some collaborations I've suggested: cases, research papers, projects, or the even though a lot of faculties would be having their own research papers, research studies going on. Like if the faculty is pursuing a PhD, or if the faculty had a PhD also, they would be writing on their own research studies. So you can just propose them. Can I be like a teaching assistant or a research assistant, or can I be someone who can help you with surveys? Because this research helps you with primary service and secondary service. So you can also propose yourself. Hey, can I help you in any of these ways? Okay, can I help you in any of these ways? So you can propose it, or else you can together brainstorm how you can collaborate.
Amazing. That is really amazing. And I'm damn sure the viewers or the listeners here would definitely follow all these steps. So, and they will think seriously about, writing a research paper to, outshine. Another question I want to ask. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just missed one of the answers as you were talking about. What is the importance of a research paper?
Yes.
Research paper has a lot of importance in the corporate life. Okay. Just imagine your name would be part of the Google Scholar. Okay. Lot of case studies. So because basically sometimes research papers are a foundation for corporates, for colleges, because it's like a platform. Okay. Sometimes the limitations of a particular research paper is like the starting point for a new research. Okay, research papers are used by a lot of companies. Okay, to work on for the R&D. Okay, a lot of companies R&D is dependent on your research papers. Okay, and even if you like, even after your life, research papers are something that stays along with you. So you leave an impression, you leave a legacy. So that is the impact I have seen. And that's substantially seeing in the corporate life in terms of hike. That's a credibility you can say you have written this much of research papers. So it builds a lot of credibility and trust on you.
Totally. And I can vouch for it. So when you are involved in any sort of research, it really, sharpens your research abilities, right? Because when you are into the corporate job, a lot of times you have to do a lot of research about a lot of things. And since you have written a research paper, you know the process to do it, right? You know the methods to achieve it. So that is a very good thing if you are doing it early in your career, before even starting your career, stepping into the workforce. So yeah, you're spot on, and I encourage everyone, if they have time or find time, time is a very scarce resource. So you have to find time for such activities. So, talk to your faculty members, speak to your senior supervisors, and indulge yourself in a research paper, right? So that is a great strategy. Another question I want to ask you from one of your answers, you mentioned about self-learning, right? Self-teaching, self-learning. So can you also elaborate on the tools, how one can achieve it? because currently internet is full of internet has both boon and bane, right? It's full of
Yeah.
lot of information. We have uh knowledgeable videos on YouTube, but also we have in shorts on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, right? Instagram reels. So there's a lot of noise also in internet. So how can someone clutter those noise and focus on the real shit or internet, which is all the free knowledge, which is uploaded by thousands of users, if not millions?
Great. So basically, you have to go a step back to get to this answer. Okay. Step back would be you have to decide what you want to do down the line. So what is your plan, and what is your plan that's down the line for 10 years? Okay. Like you have to stick to a plan down the lines, and that is essential because that's the driving factor why you should wake up every morning and why you should go to work. Okay, because something should be driving, something should be motivating you every day, na. So your plan, like to what are you going to be after 10 years? That's your driving plan. That's a motivation. Okay, and the fuel for this is key, the actions you take. The actions you take, the milestones you achieve. That's the fuel. Okay, so you have to start executing it. If you have seen a plan after 10 years, I want to be like this. Okay, so you will be start executing. I have to start executing my task around it. Then once you figure out what are the tasks you want to do, you will see where I'm lacking. So what if you have to accomplish this task? So there is this plan A. Okay, and to this there are a lot of tasks and there are a lot of milestones I have to achieve. So to achieve these milestones, I have to do these activities, and to do these activities, I have to be skillful. Okay, for example, just giving an example on a broader aspect, you want to be like a business analyst, or you want to be a marketing professional or a marketing executive or a manager in down the line 10 years. So you will figure out I have to be a marketing associate, I have to be a marketing junior manager, like this. You have to just work out the corporate ladder. For marketing associate, you have to figure I have to know this core skills, like I have to know about social media, I have to know about content writing, I have to know about digital marketing, all these things. So once you know this activities, once you know this thing, so this will also identify with the skills. Okay, so for example, social media. So for social media, I should understand the algorithms of Instagram. I should know about LinkedIn. I should know about Facebook. So Instagram is a skill. Then once you know what are the skills you want to achieve your milestones, that will achieve your down the line vision for next, or that will achieve your future goals. That will achieve what you want to be down the line 10 years. So once you get to this skills, then once you have figured out what are the skills you want to do, so this is the first step. So the first step is vision, then the active milestones, then skills. Then the next step would be, once you get to know what are the skills, then you can figure out what are the mediums I can use to acquire this skill, or I can use to learn this skill. So for example, Instagram. So the best way to learn Instagram, you can watch out some videos, you can go and watch out some videos. And if you want any suggestions, you can go start checking with blogs. Okay. So before videos, jumping to videos, because I have seen the YouTube being a lot of clutter. There is a lot of clutter. There are some videos which would be useful. There are some videos which won't be useful. Blogs are generally useful. I have seen blogs, like the content around writing blogs, that are generally useful. So find out some good blogs, start reading it. And if you feel very helpful, very valuable in that, then you can go for the particular blog. There would be or the writer of that blog may surely have, if they have made a video around it, so start watching the video. So start watching the playlist. Okay, so this could be a way to learn a skill. Okay, or else taking up some free course or around EDX or Coursera or Udemy or something. So taking up a course around it is also a good thing. Third thing would be learning by own self. How learning by own self? Spend 1 hour on Instagram. Just check out the features. What are the features you have? So this is so that you can just start creating a reel. You can upload in different times. You can understand the algorithm. You can do A/B testing. Okay, if I uploaded at 6 p.m., I get 500 views. If I uploaded at 10 p.m., I get 1,000 views. So you learn by doing it. So this would be also an approach to learn a skill. Okay. The next thing would be interacting with a professional who has acquired that skill and who has mastered that skill. Okay. So that would be the ways to self-learn. Okay. So that's my thought around it. Even like a lot of people are worried. Even I have written a piece of content in my LinkedIn profile as well. A lot of people are worried, do we need to buy a paid course to learn a skill, and the
That's a good
certificate which we
question.
get. So the certificate which we get after a paid course, that will add to my resume. So does it really required? So I have seen ki, yeah, certificates have an importance in it, but I have also cracked, and I have also asked one of my friend to try on this thing. So there is this term I have invented. So this is like a brain word for me. SLR, self-learning report, or a skill learned report, or skill learning report. Okay. So what is this SLR? So this SLR will have three things. Okay. What is the skill? So what is the skill you have learned? Okay. What are the contents you have learned? Okay. So for example, you have learned social media. So you have learned the skill of Instagram, how to use Instagram, how to operate on Instagram, market your product or market reels around Instagram. Then you learned about Facebook. Then you've learned about LinkedIn. Like 3 platforms you learn. So these are the content. Second thing would be, what are the resources you use to learn this skill? Okay, so you can put out all the relevant links, relevant YouTube links you have used to learn this skill. You can put out all the blog links. So this is like a bibliography kind of thing, reference point kind of thing. The third thing would be how you have assessed your how you have assessed your learning about this skill, like how you have assessed yourself. Because once you part of a paid course, you would be assessing your skill. Now, there would be some test, there would be assignments or something. So how you can assess your thing? You can self-assess yourself. The first thing would be you can take up a project. You can work with some company and you can take up a project and you can assess your skill. Okay, yeah, I have worked with this company and I have checked my skills and I have got these results. Okay, all this you can assess yourself by, as I mentioned over Instagram, you can assess on your own profile itself. Okay. Third thing would be you can write a piece of content, because if someone writes a content on any of the platform, that means that they have acquired some knowledge to write it now. Okay, so you can write a blog around it. You can write a piece of content around it. The next thing would be speaking about the thing, what you have learned. So you can make some bites of content and you can speak about what you have learned. Okay, implementing, speaking about it, writing about it. So this is the way you can assess yourself. And that too, you can make an SLR, skill self-learning report. So you can say, you can put the skill in your resume, and so if you put social media, and what's the proof you have learned social media? So this is my SLR. You can just produce this SLR. Yeah, I have my self-learning report. I have my skill learning report, which have these 3 things. I have been to these 3 relevant links to learn this skill, and I have assessed myself like this.
Wow, this
How
is
about
so
this?
amazing and so unique. I'm damn sure after this podcast, many of the listeners would be creating their own SLRs, and even I would be creating my own SLR. So I keep a tap on what I have learned and from where I have learned. So if I have to traverse back, if I have to just refresh my knowledge, I can do it anytime. So amazing concept, Aswini. Another thing I want to add to all the points which you mentioned is on the top of importance of having a very good LinkedIn profile, right? It's very important you have a good LinkedIn profile, because now these days LinkedIn is, kind of your biodata, your resume, your CV, all in one, right? If I want to get to know about a person, I professionally, right? What I will do, or what anyone do these days, is they just search for that person on LinkedIn and get a whole summary or gist of what this person is all about. What are his educational credentials? What are his skill set? If the person is working, which companies he has worked with, or what brands he's associated with. So it's very important, guys, to have a very solid LinkedIn profile. I guess we have already talked about it in our last podcast, so do check it out. What all techniques or what all steps we mentioned in the last podcast that you should adopt to have a good LinkedIn profile, but it's a must have, right? It's like having
Yeah.
a Facebook account or an Instagram account. So do have a LinkedIn account as well.
Just giving a bit, I guess with like for me, LinkedIn is the most used app. Like it's one of the most used app in my phone. Okay, after WhatsApp. Okay, definitely after WhatsApp. Nowadays, so I guess there are like very less normal calls I get. Most of the calls are on WhatsApp. So after WhatsApp, LinkedIn is the most effective platform or effective tool I spend most of the time. It has been the source for me for my content. For my, I get lot to learn from LinkedIn. I produce my own content. I write my own content. Okay, I share my what I have learned, what I have discussed around, what is my experiences I share around. The third thing would be networking with a lot of people. So LinkedIn is it's like 3 things I can do from one single app. So it's a very powerful tool, I can say.
Amazing. And with this, guys, we have discussed all the strategies, unique strategy. I'm damn sure these strategies you don't find very easily on internet, on YouTube, right? Because these
Yeah.
strategies are, hardcore practice strategies or tried and tested strategies which Aswini has shared, right, from his own experience. I'm damn sure if you follow these strategies, you definitely would be an outlier and you will shine whatever career paths you have or you choose. So with this,
Um,
Ashwini, yeah, any other thoughts you have around it before we start with
uh,
another round, which I am calling it enlightening round?
Great, great. No, no. I was just sharing ki, also like you
Yeah.
also implement these strategies. Also share this thing with your friends as well, because I just believe in this, in this thing. When knowledge is shared, it gets multiplied.
Absolutely. So there's one new segment which I am introducing with this podcast. It's called enlightening round. So I will be asking you questions around your personal life and your growth mindset. So
Yeah.
shall we begin?
Sure, sure, sure. Sounds
All
interesting.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first question I want to ask you is, I guess you have already answered this question in one of your answers, but still, let me ask you. So, which is the one app which you use most on your smartphone in a day?
I guess it should be like for everyone as well. WhatsApp being the messaging tool that's the most used. But after WhatsApp, I can say LinkedIn, as I shared earlier as well, because LinkedIn, as I mentioned, like three sources of information, one source of information, producing content, building a network.
And it's same for me. So WhatsApp followed by LinkedIn, followed by YouTube. So I consume WhatsApp again for the communications, work-related communications, personal communications, followed by LinkedIn, then
Mhm.
YouTube. So I don't use Instagram much. I hardly open Instagram in a week or so. So if I have to, indulge in mindless scrolling, so I just do it on LinkedIn. At least I'm getting something out of it, right? The time which I'm wasting in scrolling or the time between my calls, my meetings. So that is something which I've adopted, which has really, really helped me also. So instead of, liking or sharing pictures, videos on Instagram, right? I at least come across an article, I'm gaining something out of it, right? Whatever time I have in between meetings, at least I'm learning a bit about it. So that is
Mhm.
one thing I've, kind of practiced for few months now, which has really, helped me, learn more in the lesser time frame. All
Great,
right.
great.
Yeah. So moving to the next question. So which one daily habit you believe has been a game changer for you in your life so far?
I think the one most important habit which I do is ki when I wake up in the morning, I plan my day. Okay, like these are the things I have to do. Okay, blocking on my calendar, like these are the events I have to do, and giving a certain amount of time to it. Okay, like maybe
Yes.
your day will be free most of the time. You don't have to do, but you should plan ki what you have to do at the end of the day, what you want to plan to achieve. Yeah, so that once you go to sleep, na, you will not feel unsatisfied with yourself. You would feel satisfied with yourself ki, yeah, you have done something. It
Hmm.
didn't get it didn't get wasted. Okay, so you will get a sense of achievement or a sense of happiness. That's for sure.
Awesome. And this is one habit which has also impacted my life in a very positive way. I'm practicing this for last 10 years, I must say. I also plan my day one day prior in advance. So I know what are the priorities for the day, both work-wise and personal growth-wise. So
Mhm.
amazing habit. And I really encourage everyone, irrespective of where you are currently, if you are in college, if you are working professionals, uh, grab a piece of pen and paper, or if you're like me, you can do it digitally on any to-do app, right? Just plan your day in advance, whatever the meetings you are gonna have tomorrow, or whatever the task you need to undertake, to at least get one step ahead of your goals in your goal journey. So do this habit, and trust me, after a year or so, you will see a big difference in how you're using your time in a day. So yeah,
Yeah,
really.
surely. Just to add on some as you mentioned on tools, some of the tools which I use is like Google Calendar, where I block my whole day. Okay, like these are the things I have to do. And if there is something you want to have a conversation with your friend, or you have planned a meeting with someone, so you can just send a calendar invite them also, so that they can also block their calendar and they stay on time. Maybe you know about the event, you are on time, but if they aren't on time and they don't manage to get on time, so that will be also a reminder to them as well. And the second thing, as to like a to-do list, I found this app called as Google Task. Google Task is useful. I just put my task in. Okay, once I am completed with the task, I just tick it off. So I can see also, okay, for today, I have 10 tasks. Okay, I have to complete this 10 tasks by the time which I go to I go to my bed to sleep. So this is also good tool I can rely on. But any other to-do app is fine. Like as 𝗕𝗂 mentioned, any other to-do is a great thing. But make sure you plan your day. Like I plan my day in the morning and then I carry it out. But if there is any meetings which is already lined up, so it happens like before and only. But planning it up prior to one day is also a good idea.
Amazing, and I totally agree. Now moving to my next question in the lightning round. So, before I ask you this question, I want to ask you: do you like reading books, or I guess everyone likes reading book? So, are you a book reader? I must ask you.
Yeah, I was like I'm a book reader, okay, but like I've seen in some last few months, I've seen a trend of going from like reading books to listening books, okay, audiobooks, listening to audiobooks, okay. So this habit I've seen. Like right now, I'm more into like hearing out audiobooks. Like when I'm walking around somewhere, when I have some walks, like morning walk, I'm going for a morning walk or evening walk. I just plug in my earphones and hear to a audiobook. But yeah, surely I consume the content which is in the book. That's for sure.
So let me reframe my question now, since you are more into audiobooks. So which one audiobook you would recommend someone, or maybe someone who's new to this journey of growth mindset, developing a growth mindset, that has impacted your life the most?
Great. Okay. Not about the audio. So this is also available in audiobook as well, format as well. I have also listened to that. So there is this book. Okay, I read in my 11th. Okay, since my 11th grade, I can't say other books I didn't find helpful. Other books are also good, but this book had a certain impact in my career growth, certain impact on my life. Okay, so the book is The Go Giver. Okay, The Go Giver. That's a book, and it was authored by Bob Burg, and it was co-authored by John David. Yeah, John David and Bob Burg were the authors for that. The Go Giver. So it talks about a lot of success principles. Okay, talks about a lot of takeaways and what you should do with your life, what you should do to achieve your things in format of stories. Okay, so there is a story, and at the end of the story there is a model, or there is a takeaway from it. So I found the book quite useful. Okay, seriously saying, I find sometimes quite lazy to complete a book. Okay, but this book was something. This book was sometime I just completed in one go. I just read the book in one go. Okay, I just had some like bio breaks, and took some break for my food. But I completed the book in one go. That book was quite interesting for me.
Amazing, amazing. And I'm sure uh, it will really be helpful to all the listeners who are watching this. Guys, please go check out this book. And even I will be checking out this book. I remember reading this book a couple of years back, but let me read it once to refresh my memory. Awesome.
Sure.
My last question before we end this podcast. So imagine you are standing on one of the largest stadium ever built in the history of mankind, and millions of people are waiting to hear you, and you have only 1 minute to share the biggest lesson you have learned in your whole life. So what would be that message to you, to all the people listening to you?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So I can't say on one biggest lesson, but I can say some biggest lessons which I have like some couple of lessons which I have learned from my life. Okay, one, I guess this is quite essential for everyone. Be comfortable with change. Okay, by change I mean every change. Okay, uh, someone parting away from a relationship. Okay, you being in a different context of life, you being in a different context of surrounding. Okay, uh, you like suddenly you are fired from a job or you lose your job. So be comfortable with change. Be comfortable with change. I mean, you don't repent on it. You don't stay on it. You just leave it and move ahead. Okay, move forward, because you shouldn't keep your life at halt. Okay, move forward. Moving forward is quite important. Be comfortable with change, that I mean. Okay, another thing I wanted to highlight is keep yourself busy, so that you do keep yourself busy, so to wipe out this sad time. Okay, like I give this advice to everyone. Sorry. excuse me. I give you this advice to everyone who is like, when they're in a time of sad, or like someone who has moved out, who is in a very bad phase of breakup or relationship, in a breakup in a relationship. If you want to fight away from this, keep yourself busy. Okay, so that your mind is into something which is more useful, and it will, the thoughts of breakup, all the sadness will pass away. So this is a very good idea you can use. The last biggest lesson, okay, maybe this would be the biggest lesson of my life. Be curious. Okay, because curiosity initiates great things. It's like the beginning of great changes and great things happening in your life. So be curious. So that would be my biggest lesson I can say.
Amazing. And that is also a mantra I would love to live by. So thank you so much, Aswini, for sharing all your, strategies on this podcast today. I'm damn sure all our listeners, all our viewers would really find this podcast helpful. And guys, if you adopt even one strategy, I'm damn sure you will be leaps and bounds ahead of anyone, in your work life. Thank you so much, Aswini, for your time, and see you on the next podcast.
Great, great,
Thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for hearing this out. I hope it was useful. I'd also request everyone to share this with your friends so that everyone gets benefited from it. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.